Alrighty, well, Ekonovah, thank you very much for joining me on the Faded podcast today.
Is this live?
This is live.
All right, cool.
We're in.
Awesome.
The viewers, they can see.
Sweet.
So, you just came out here all the way from Arizona, right?
From, Tempe, Arizona.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm a student at ASU right now.
And you just came to perform?
Yes, sir. Came to perform at the Artisan in Vegas.
Yeah, man, I saw that. That was a good set.
Thank you.
I was kind of listening to your music. I didn't realize that your set had a bunch of originals in it, a bunch of cool edits from you, remixes.
Yeah, I try to play a lot of unreleased stuff too.
I remember particularly, I was listening to the Coldplay, Yellow, and I was like, oh shit, like, where did you find this record? You know, this is a good one. And then I later find out that that was your remix.
Oh, you didn't realize it?
No, I didn't realize it live.
Cool, yeah.
Well, I found it out later.
Yeah, I love that.
I was like, yo, this always happens to me. Like when I see DJs live, I saw Sid live. You know Sid?
I love Sid,
yeah, me too. He's fucking great. I saw him live, and then one of his songs came on, and in my opinion, it was the best song of his set. So I was like, what song is this? Shazammed it, and it said Sid, blah, 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 his song. And I was like, yes. You know? I love when that happens. You know, you see a DJ, and you're like, the best song of their set was one of their songs.
Yeah, that's a telltale sign of a good DJ and a good set.
Do you think your set stays the same when you're going to gig, or do you switch it up every time? Or
it depends on just the energy of the room and what the people want, mostly. But I'll still try to play the stuff I want to play. I think it's definitely, you have to play a little bit for yourself, mostly for the crowd, but a little bit for yourself, because you gotta have fun too.
Gotta have fun. You can't just play a pre-mix with the fun.
Yeah, exactly. So it's generally the same vibe from venue to venue, but whatever the crowd wants is I have to cater to it, and that's right. That's the true form of DJing. That's the true art.
So how many songs do you walk around with then? Just to make sure you are prepared. Like do you 500 songs maybe, or
my go-to playlist of all the tracks that I'm comfortable with that I play on a regular basis. That's like 300 tracks in that playlist. But the whole library that I have in case no one's feeling tech house, no one's feeling bass house, no one's feeling this genre. I have my backup stuff, and then there's like 600, 700 tracks there, just in case,
Oh wow, and those are all kind of queued up? You don't really need that to be queued up when you're DJing live, right?
They're just in a separate playlist on my USB, and they have all their cue points from Record Box, but all set up.
Jesus.
So worst case scenario, I'm ready.
Pro status.
Yeah, you gotta be prepared.
Well, I noticed when I was diving into your original sounds that, like you just said, there's the bass house I heard, and then I heard tech house, I heard some electro house influence, like the Wanna See record, that was more bass house.
Yes, very true.
But then more for you, there was more like just tech house.
Yeah, More For Me is one of my favorite tracks that I've made. Starts out like a cool groovy tech house thing, and then second drop goes into it's borderline techno, which is fun. I like playing around with different genres, trying to combine stuff.
Hell yeah.
Make different sounds.
Well, that's what sets you apart from the other DJs for sure. That's why you're in Vegas right now.
Yeah.
You came all the way
working
from
hard, trying.
So you came out, did you just come out for this gig and this interview and then you're headed back? Or
so
where do you go next?
Today's Saturday. On Friday, my team and I, we went to Flagstaff, Arizona.
Yes.
Had a show up there. Came over here to Vegas, played the Artisan, came for this interview. Then when we wrap up here, we're about to drive back to Tempe, back to Phoenix.
Wow. Tour van life, tour bus life,
It's the grind.
Oh no, I love it. Do you have more gigs locked in for this year?
Definitely have a lot more. More show announcements, more details coming soon on those. Yeah, I'm really hyped about some of them.
You guys heard it first. Make sure you guys are locked in to the Ekonovah. How do you say the name?
Yeah, it's Ekonovah.
Ekonovah,
yeah.
And where did that come from?
Yeah, I was about to say. So I was in a duo previously. That ended for reasons.
Yeah.
So started my solo venture, and I knew that I wanted to completely erase what I had been making in terms of the sound.
Wow.
So I was making progressive house, big room, cliche, sort of festival main stage
top 40
stuff.
kind of.
Yeah, or the top 40 of EDM.
Mainstream EDM.
Yeah. So I wanted to make a new sound. So Ekonovah loosely translated means loose sound, in that echo as sound, and then nova to mean new in Latin.
Oh, wow.
So Ekonovah. And then I misspelled the words echo and nova so that it would just look better, so it would sound better, just make it more cohesive, and that's how the name came about. And I brainstormed for like maybe a month and a half, 2 months, thinking of a name, and I had a few, you know, I had like.
What are the other thoughts? What are the other options?
One of them was Ekonovah.
Oh, okay.
Because I wanted my music to resonate,
that
kind of stuff.
No, that's a cool one.
I can't remember the other ones, but I had like a list of 3 or 4, and I was like iffy on all of them. I couldn't really decide, but once I came up with Ekonovah, it was like instant. It was like that's it, that's the one. Like I felt it.
Good.
Yeah, it felt good. It rolled off the tongue.
Did you draw it out, write it out to make it feel like that, or?
Yeah. What do you mean?
I mean, like, so did you say like, okay, this is Ekonovah, and then you wrote it down?
Yes.
Or you just kind of, when you thought about it, you're like, yes.
Yeah. So I thought about it. I thought about Echonovah, which is how you'd actually spell the 2 words, you know,
right.
Ekonovah. And I wrote that down. I was like, that's cool and all, but how can I make that more original?
Yeah.
And then I just played around with misspelling it and kind of just taking the phonetics of those words and trying to play around with that.
Yeah.
And then once I added the H at the end, like it gives like the breath to the last syllable.
Right.
And I just like the way that sounded, so I went with that.
I'm sure people are gonna misspell maybe once or twice.
You know what? That's all right.
That's okay. Yeah, no, I mean it's fine. I've had, I think, oh god, people have spelled JackEL the weirdest ways. Like, I'm literally saying like maybe without the A, JackEL, with like the C without the K, like just like straight up weird shit.
Yeah, I could imagine.
So when you were kind of seeking to find this new sound away from the big room progressive, right? You know, obviously you had inspirations, influences from other artists. Who were some of those main artists that inspired you to create this Ekonovah and make the sound you were making?
So there's a few big inspirations, the top inspirations. If I had to choose a top 3, I would say Skrillex, because he's the guy that got me into producing to begin with.
Yeah.
And while my sound is not derivative of his sound, I'm always inspired by the way that he's pushed the boundaries. He's explored new sonic ideas and that kind of thing. So that he's always inspired me in that way.
Big ups to Skrillex.
Yes.
If you haven't heard of him, follow him.
Then another name would be Coldplay. I remixed one of their songs as we were talking about earlier. Coldplay influences like my like how I write my chord progressions, how I go about writing melodies. I mean, that's the band that I listened to throughout middle school and high school. Like that's every day, you know, on the bus. That's what I listened to. So they influenced my musical direction a lot. And then my sound and the actual like genre is influenced a ton by Phlegmatic Dogs. I don't know if you've heard of the guys.
I haven't.
Super talented. They're from Night Base, if you've heard of Night Base.
Oh yeah, AC.
Yes sir, yeah. And their whole sound is predicated on just like cool, dark, kind of growly basses, but it's in a really danceable format with a really intuitive groove. So it's like just like these harsh sounds, but it's so dancey, and that captivated me. So when I started going about making songs for Ekonovah, I knew that like my quest was to make cool music with new sound that's super danceable.
Yes.
Because, you know, like I kind of mentioned in the past, I was making just like 3-2-1 jump music.
Yeah.
It was music you could jump to. That's fun and all, but there's no longevity to it. It's
Not too much emotion.
What's that?
Not so much emotion.
Yeah, exactly. There's not much integrity to it. It's kind of just like, it's, Porter Robinson said it best. He said that addressing big room and kind of electro house and that kind of thing, he said that entertainment, or EDM is entertainment, not art. And he's right. For a while in that big room phase, it was really hype, it was entertaining. But now the spectacle of big room is dying, and I think people are just wanting something that's more musical.
Yeah. I can agree with that. And then obviously you did the Coldplay remix too, the flip for Coldplay.
Yes.
So that was inspired just because you were bumping them, and
yeah.
Did you kind of plan that one for a while?
Yes, actually, yeah. So Yellow, I remixed Yellow.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite songs of all time, and just in general, let alone of my Coldplay song.
Where can people go find that though?
What's that?
Where can people find that one, by the way?
That'll be on my SoundCloud. You can find that on my SoundCloud.
Head over there. For sure.
Yeah, so I found the acapella to it probably 4 to 5 months before it was released. And I really had to sit on it for a while because I put the original idea together way before the Ekonovah brand had really launched. So I was sitting on it, kind of just thinking about it, mulling over what I wanted to do with it. And then one day I just decided to open up the project just to, I was like, okay, it's time to work on the song, let's see what happens. And then for some reason, just the inspiration was unlocked, and it went from like a 2-month period of brick wall, like not being able to budge anywhere,
Wow.
to just inspiration released, and yeah, and then everything was so organic, and it's the best process when you're not just like, what should I add next? Like, what do I need to do next? What do I need to mix? Like,
well, it wasn't a huge rush, right? So you were patient.
And that's the thing too. Yeah, I wasn't rushing myself, which I think was really important. I think it's important just in general for making any track, because once the inspiration is there, it takes care of it for you. Yeah. Once you're inspired, once the juices are flowing,
the antenna's gone, right? The antenna's open.
Yeah, then the song writes itself, and at that point you're merely just kind of channeling that song. At least that's how I think about it. Like when I play piano, the same thing. Like if I'm in the middle of a song and I'm really starting to feel it and get into it, I kind of just find that the song it sounds weird, it sounds kind of almost corny, it just like starts to reveal itself to me.
Totally.
And I'm just like there playing it.
Yeah.
So I find the same thing when I'm making music. Once the inspiration's there, it's just, it does itself. It works itself out.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, you're the leader. You can take it anywhere you want to go, and based off your influences, it kind of shapes the record. And I want to kind of talk about your singles that you've released this year.
Cool, yeah.
I've seen that you've released 3 official ones. Is that what you've done this year?
That is correct, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Of course, I've got a ton unreleased, like every other producer out there. I've got all those project files, like hundreds.
WIPs, right? Work in progress.
They're all, they're named like Final 1, Final
Idea 12.
Yeah, like all those, yeah. So I just have loads of those projects, and I've been working with some vocalists recently, so I'm really excited to put those tunes out. Right now we're looking at labels, talking to a few labels, and we're gonna see what happens there.
Okay, cool. Well, I can't wait to see what happens with those ones.
Yeah,
I really like the ones that were released though.
Thank you.
They sound really high quality at all the elements of the production.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and, the 3 that I released, I think, or the most recent 2, Inversion and More From You, the 2 recent originals, which I think really epitomize like the house sections of my sets. Because like you have the tech house groove from More From You. It's very singable. It's very I think has a lot of integrity. Like you can really enjoy the musicality. Like it has a saxophone in it, which you hear all the time in house.
Yeah, I heard that, and I was gonna ask you if you ever considered getting a live sax player on your record.
Oh, dude, yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, definitely. I'm all about actually recording live instrumentation. It's just the convenience, and it's just the convenience of being able to do it in your laptop. Like I found this free saxophone DST, and I played the MIDI on my keyboard and just recorded it into FL, which is my DAW that I use.
Was it?
And I forgot where I was going with that.
Oh, no, that's cool. Do you have your home studio set up where you can do all this, or do you go to studios?
My home studio, I have 2 speakers, 2 monitors. I have my laptop and a MIDI keyboard. I don't even have an audio interface. I've never had to use that.
So how do you connect the speakers to your laptop?
I have the 2 RCAs going from the studio monitors into the headphone jack.
You're hilarious.
I know. It's
That's
janky,
the shittiest quality.
It is. I hear you.
No. It's all good, man. However the art's made, bro. I'm not trying to hate it all.
That's just been of course. That's been the process.
You haven't seen my home studio yet.
I want to see.
It's the same thing.
Really?
Yeah, 2 speakers. I've got a sub though, audio interface, just laptop. I don't even have a MIDI controller right now.
Really? You see, I didn't have MIDI for the first 5 years of producing. Today's actually, to the day, 6 years since I started production to the day.
Happy anniversary!
Thank you.
Yes.
I remember very vividly, my mom was decorating for Halloween in our front yard with putting some spiders on our lights. And I was working on, I had just like opened FL, and I was working on this song. I still remember I made it with, it's like the worst sound, like just a saw wave, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Man, I think that's definitely the story of a producer. I have the same story. It's the same shit, you know. You get so inspired, you get so excited. Yes, I'm finally creating something. It sounds so cool. It sounds so original. And for my case, I just showed some of my friends, and they straight up told me right away, like for my first song, when I did the same thing, like created a little thing, I was like, yes. When I showed my friends, they're like, dude, this sounds like shit.
And I think we need way more people who are like that, because there's so many people who, like friends who support you blindly. You need, I think everyone needs that.
Team
honest
players, like real people.
Yeah, like honest, but yet polite, just like, hey, this is bad, you need to keep working.
Yo, this isn't that good, man. Keep on going.
Yeah.
So you have the minimal setup, but even if you had a singer, so what would happen if you wanted to get a singer on your record? You'd have to go to a studio, right?
That'd be like, obviously that's the best way to get the highest fidelity recording, is to go to a proper studio. You could easily...
You don't have a mic though, do you?
I do not have a mic. I have friends with mics, so I can figure that out.
Yeah, you could.
And the vocalists that I work with, they have their own setups too. A lot of them just, you know, they have the closet, they set up with the towels and the blankets and whatnot to dampen it.
Oh yeah.
And they just have their home studio recording right there. So that's probably what I'll end up doing with the vocalists, is if they have their own recording setup, just we can use that. And worst case scenario, you know, go to studio.
Yeah, I mean that's okay. There's probably not too far. There's probably a lot over there. I heard there's actually some really, really good ones in AZ, to be honest.
There actually are, yeah, definitely.
So I wanted to talk about briefly, you know, music ties in so deep with feelings, really. You know, people go, they experience these raves, they experience these events, and they're so affected, you know. People nowadays, a lot of them are depressed, a lot of them are sad, and then I feel like they get healed from the music at these events. Do you ever think of yourself as a sound healer?
No, I do not. All I want to do with my music, like my goal is to get as many people to hear it as possible, and to people just to dance to it. Like when I first started, before I was into the 3, 2, 1 jump hype and stuff, like right when I started, I knew I wanted people to dance to my music.
Right.
So that's an interesting point that you brought up about being a sound healer. I mean, I'm not opposed to it, obviously. Like if that's what.
Well, if they're dancing, that's healing. You know, if they're dancing, that's therapy.
That's a great perspective. You know what? I think you're right.
You know, they're expressing themselves. They feel free, and like the whole dancing thing is just so free, so happy. You know, so positive. So you're definitely a sound healer, even if you don't think it.
Nice. Well, I learn something new every day.
Unless you're playing some trap music in your sets, fucking on no bitch, think about it. You know, then you're kind of going back down.
You know, no comment.
Yeah, no comment, right?
Yeah.
So where do you want to see yourself maybe next year?
Next year, I want to be on the road all the time. I want to be cranking out music all the time on releases, you know.
Oh yeah.
You know, I just want to see if I can see more people making the same style that I'm making. If I see people trying to make the sounds that I'm making, then I'll be happy. Maybe that's not a year from now, maybe that's 3 or 4 years from now, but if people are trying to emulate my style, then that is maybe the most fulfillment I can get, at least from the production standpoint.
Yeah, well, you're on that path for sure. Everything that's going is just gonna go off so fast. You know, I think the whole manifesting, being on the road is really important. You know, touring is so awesome, so fun, so great to get your music out there. But one thing you definitely can't forget is to definitely manifest being happy and healthy on the road too.
Yes.
Because that shit can get to you, man. Just like being away for months, 2 gigs a day, 2 hours of sleep a day. That's so taxing, you know, as an artist, you know. And that's kind of like Avicii got into that, right? And then what happened to him? He's gone now, unfortunately, rest in peace. So it's just like you got to make sure that when you're manifesting the touring too, you're playing the whole happiness and health part into it, right? And you've got a great team around you. Shout out to Jason and
I was about to say that. Stuff. Yeah, those guys keep my spirits up. Yeah, I don't really have a choice to be down when I'm around them, because they're always smiling. Yeah, great guys.
Yeah, man. Well, let's just keep it up. Just thank you so much for coming on the Faded podcast today, the show. You know, I'm looking forward to your mix. I loved seeing your mix last night at the Artisan in Vegas.
Oh,
and I'm just so stoked for what's to come for you, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.